What's up, everybody? I know it's been a long time of nothing, pretty much. Mainly caused by, well, the world's in a crazy place in a way right now. And I wanted to do a video on something, at least for quite some time, but whenever I got the idea and got down to recording or something, just something came up and I had to solve it. But I found myself right now in a relatively, I would say, peaceful existence in a way where I do have the time to do more of these videos. So yeah, I'll probably do more of them. Hopefully, if something again doesn't come up. But today is just a quick video on a topic that has been lingering in my mind for quite some time, but recently only I have sort of solidified my opinion on it, and I wanted to put it into a concise thing. Now, we all, or people who are in, interest in the gaming world, have heard that there was a GTA leak earlier this week, GTA 6. It wasn't just some like two screenshots or something, or like a 2 pixel video for 5 seconds. It was actually relatively lots of footage, seeing the game under development. And first thing for anybody basically seeing that was, I would assume that the game is very, very far from being finished to a certain extent. So we are going to have to wait more for it. However, not the video itself, but the entire thing around it raised a few issues where I think that I can certainly say that GTA 6 will suck. And it will suck, maybe not hard, but it will suck, most definitely. And I would love to be proven wrong. I would love to see a game that's fully functional. Not even fully functional, it's going to be fully functional, but I would like to see a game that, you know, um, surprises me in a way, and a game that I could possibly enjoy. But I don't think that's going to happen, and I'm gonna list many reasons why I think this in this video. So yeah, I guess we can start with the most obvious one, or pretty much the final nail in the coffin that in a way solidified me doing this video. So, with the GTA 6 leak, you could not almost escape it. There was just news reports, there was this, there was that, there were videos constantly being uploaded here and that, because if you think about it, after such a long time, we have finally got something, except from rumors and predictions, that we can look at. And that has really amplified of how much people are waiting for the game, and therefore how much they are expecting from the game itself. I think there was even a psychological study in a way that the longer you wait for something, the and then you don't get it. I don't exactly know how it was. I know that they had a couple of people and they said, you know what, we're gonna do like a round of interviews or whatever, but just give us 5 minutes to prepare. And every 5 minutes came a guy and said another 5 minutes. And the last people that got up and left and had enough of this shit, they had the biggest meltdowns of the entire um, group. And I don't know, there was some like psychological underlining, but I think it works the same with video games in a way. The longer you wait for a video game, or the longer it is promised, the higher the expectations for the video game grow. This is why I think partially Red Dead Redemption was a huge success. It was an amazing video game, but the marketing was done right. People didn't know Red Dead Redemption was coming. Like, there were rumors here and there, but those are never unconfirmed. It wasn't like Rockstar is working on Red Dead Redemption. And I remember specifically there was this mysterious post posted that hinted like, yeah, Red Dead Redemption is going to be published. But I think at that point the game was already finished or maybe in testing. So people did not have to wait that long since the official, um, let's say, news broke out that that Red Dead Redemption was going to be published to the actual publishing of the game, and there were no delays as far as I remember, nothing, and the game worked perfectly, and therefore it fulfilled everybody's expectations. But we have been hearing about, and it has been confirmed like a while back, that Rockstar is working on GTA 6, and most importantly, that it has been working on GTA 6 for quite some time. This means that people's expectations, they start to grow by every single minute the game is not already out. And at a certain point, they get so proportionally huge that there is in no way that it's going to be satisfying for people who are going to be playing the video game. The video game itself has been, thought about and theorized what's going to be about and what's all going to be in there. That at this point, I think whatever Rockstar releases will disappoint at least somebody. Somebody is going to be saying like, "Man, I wish this was in the game," and that's not bad. Like that's not really where games fail, but I would think that a marketing done bad for a video game can be one of the one of the how would I say, nails in the coffin for the entire game and for the entire success of the game. Because at the end of the day, people who play the game rate the game. The game can be as good as whatever, but if people hate it, then people just hate it. There is nothing you can do against that, and people just will always hate it. And you can have an amazing video game. If people will hate it, people will just hate it, and it will be the public's opinion, and you cannot do anything about it. So at this point, I think, and it was amplified by the leak because everybody was talking about it, discussing it. There were at least a million videos published on it, a million articles, and that just shows that people are so anticipating something, that they're willing to catch on or just make do with 8 minutes of footage, right? And it was like the leak itself was good. It wasn't again like a 2 pixel PNG, but nobody, if any other video game would get leaked like this, if the next FIFA would get leaked like this, nobody would even be talking about it. Like a few outlets here and there, maybe a video, but since you have to wait a year for a FIFA, there is not that much expectations, right? People are like, oh yeah, they're gonna change the players, update the graphics a bit, about it, right? If this was what we got out of the newest FIFA that is probably being prepared as of today, people wouldn't be that excited. But since this is the GTA 6 that we've been waiting for a long time, basically, I would say since the basically next gen consoles, and I'm not talking about next gen PS4 to PS5, but PS3 to PS4. It's a major thing. It's a major thing, and people are starting to get unreal expectations of the game. And the longer it will take Rockstar to finish it, and seeing by the state from the leaks, it will take a long time to finish, the higher the expectations for the game will go. However, this is not the only thing why I think GTA 6 will suck, at least in public's opinion. Since GTA 5 up to this point, there has been a major shift of who actually plays GTA in a way. Since the previous GTAs, they went out or got released in relatively, like compared to this, relatively fast rotations. The player base didn't change that much. Like there were new players here and old players stopped playing it, but I think the core stayed the same at least, right? With the 3D games now, I'm talking about those. The core audience stayed the same, and it is really important to define what the core audience expects out of the game and what the new audience that GTA 5 now has expects from the game, and how that will affect what Rockstar would focus on. Now, the old audience, it was mostly about story, mayhem, chaos, open world, and making it realistic with interesting characters. And multiplayer was always put on this back burner. Like it was there, it was a feature, but it was never the dominant feature. You didn't go and play GTA games because it had an amazing multiplayer. You went to play GTA games because it was realistic and with a good story. At least that's what people came in with. However, with GTA 5, this changed. I wouldn't say the story sucked, but it wasn't such. It was good on its own, but it wasn't the best story out of all the video games. However, the multiplayer fan base got really strong, and that's very important to think about or to mention that multiplayer became the main reason why people were starting to buy the game. Many people, and I know this from personal accounts, many people bought the game and didn't even bother playing the single player. They just went directly into the multiplayer because there was such a sprawling community which has been created um, throughout the years that people started buying GTA 5 only for the pure let's go down to multiplayer thing and let's play multiplayer and let's not focus on the single player. And Rockstar has seen this and certainly monetized this, or at least to a certain extent, certainly reacted to this. I remember back when it was released, there were promises of a story DLC and story add ons overall, and that was all forgotten. The only story add ons that we've got basically were assets that were made for the multiplayer, and then when they were added into the single player as some kind of a, yeah, here you go. And I don't remember there being a single player DLC. I lost track of the all the updates, or there might have been one. But again, it wasn't so hyped up as all the updates for the online. And certainly the online have seen some major updates. I remember when the heist updates came, which already now seems like a long time, but I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember when the entire company and CEO things came out, when the customizations update or whatever it was called came out. And before, when multiplayer started, at best you got new skins and a bunch of new vehicles. That was it. That was like the maximum. But now it's like whole new themes and areas and ways. And again, Rockstar monetized on the fact that people are playing the multiplayer. And GTA 5 or the GTA has not been the earner of the entire franchise like the game itself. It has been the microtransactions in the multiplayer. And certainly the new add-ons onto the multiplayer, um, they are reflecting this reality. There are the items that you can purchase are becoming more and more expensive to a point where it's almost impossible to do it without the purchase of at least some help. And people are just gonna wave their hands and say, "Hey, whatever. It's $5. It's $15. I like the game. Whatever. I'm gonna invest it." Good for you. I mean, I've got nothing against that. You can invest your entire life savings if you feel like it. But if every single person who plays multiplayer basically does this, imagine how much money that brings Rockstar just for basically upkeeping an already existing mode and then adding basically these all these carrots to dangle in front of players. Like, if you had this much money or if you had this, you could buy this and you could be part of the new DLC that we are having for the multiplayer or that we are creating. I know that now there are like submarines, flying motorcycles, and stuff like that, and it seems kind of wacky and out of place for a GTA. However, it's put there because they can put a massive price tag on it, and it seems cool, it seems nice, and it certainly gives you an advantage in the multiplayer. But again, the microtransactions became the main business of the entire thing. And why would a company pretty much shoot themselves in the legs? They're not gonna pay lip service to the fans, right? They're not gonna create a game without a multiplayer that's purely single player. And when they know that they can earn much more money focusing on multiplayer and putting the single player experience on a back burner, I think that's what's gonna happen with GTA 6. And many people will accept the change because the fan base has changed. As I said, many people now put the single player on a back burner and focus on the multiplayer or the multiplayer aspect. And there certainly have been more videos about the multiplayer and how people play in the multiplayer than the single player one, or the community engagement seems to be more towards in the old guard or the old fan base that valued the single player stories and the wacky characters there and all this stuff. I wouldn't say it was dying out, but it either moved on or it just doesn't engage with the game so much because there is only so much replayability in the video game, right? And the same could be said, or the same can be seen with Red Dead Redemption, where the company has understood that multiplayer is the way. Now, in Red Dead Redemption, I know it was unbalanced, but you could immediately purchase stuff there for the multiplayer. So the microtransactions were immediately put there. However, I think that Red Dead Redemption was being developed or being finished during the transition phase of this new fan base and old fan base. So we haven't seen the um, full picture of what can be done when companies focus only on multiplayer and the single player is put on the back burner, where they focus on making their money not with people purchasing the video game, but with people purchasing microtransactions over time to get ahead, to, in a certain sense, keep up with the Joneses, virtual Joneses in the video game. And this worries me because I always like the GTA franchises for the story and for the side missions, for the strangers and freaks, for the world and everything. And if all of this is put on a back burner and we're just gonna focus on the online element, then we don't have a recipe for a good game. It's relatively going to be a shit game for the old guard, but for the new fan base, it's going to be something amazing, something wow, something awesome. And that is something to think about. That what fan base is Rockstar targeting with their new game? What are they trying to achieve? And who are they trying to, let's say, benefit in a way? And who is now their target audience? And I certainly don't think it's people who enjoy story modes. I think it's people who are willing to put down the cash to be the best in some online world or whatever. There have also been rumors about the game becoming more politically correct and all this stuff, but I'm not too worried about that. It might happen, and it would certainly be a blow because I would say that GTA's always benefited from being a bit more unfiltered and bringing this sort of like a parody look into our own world where people can realize like yeah this is like I know what this is referencing if you get what I'm saying, like they can sort of go back and be like yeah I get what this is referencing, this is good, this is real good stuff. um if it becomes more politically correct and all this bullshit that seems to be happening in the past years and follow that trend, it's gonna lose that touch, that spark that the previous games had in trying to mock the current society in a way, but in a way that was subtle and or sometimes less subtle, but in a way that players could enjoy no matter your political preference or whatever. And if it's going to try to hammer down some propaganda, which I don't think it will, but it might, which seems to be the dominant theme of at least the entertainment media, such as movies and TV series nowadays, is going to destroy itself in the process. I would love to be surprised by GTA 6, but I'm very doubtful looking at how past releases of similar calibers were handled and how they ended up. I don't think it's going to be rushed and unfinished. I just think it won't be the GTA we, the older fan base, let's say, expect out of it, and it will be more targeting the zoomies and the people who play it now and the people who engage with it now. So it won't be bad per se, but it won't be the GTA that we're used to. And then again, public opinion matters in this regard. So the question is to be asked if the public opinion of the older fan base matters to Rockstar more than the public opinion of people who actually make them money. And since Rockstar is a company, I think we all know the answer to that question. And that's why I would like this video to be here. And when GTA 6 will be released, I'll come back to it. I'll probably watch it and I'll see if I was correct and or wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it too brightly actually. So yeah, that's that. I'll probably record a few videos here and there. Try to get them as soon as possible. I'll see what I do. I have a couple of ideas, so thank you basically for staying here. I know a couple of people that we have gained a few subscribers. I think we even hit the 100 subscriber milestone. I know there are lots of active people who still engage with my content, so thank you for that. And yeah, that's about it. Keep it tight and see you around.